So it starts off with Jackson. So there's a guy who's working at one of the biggest companies on this planet called Apple, and his name is Jackson. He's a 20-something-year-old great guy, and I tried to convince him to work with me. Was it successful? Absolutely not. He had a good time at Apple, so he wasn't going to leave Apple. Told me that I should keep working on this because this is something unique and meaningful. What am I working on? So I'm trying to help type 1 diabetics better manage their fitness journey, and hopefully eradicate the idea that they can have low blood glucose values. Because sometimes there's dangerously low blood glucose values. I'm going to show it to you right now. The other motivation I have is that I'm under the assumption that this condition I have is genetic. So it may be the case that my granddaughter will inherit something from me.
Ah, yeah, I see.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily the case that every person or every child of yours is gonna have the same condition, but your genes are your genes, so it can be the case that this happens. And I'm motivated by that because I'm like, I could help them. I could help them have a better life than what I did or I had. And I think that is powerful. And the fact that I have this idea that I have the capacity to help generations down the line, I think is something that can serve not just my family, but many families across the world. But I cannot do it alone. And this is why I need help.
I see.
I love your question because it presupposes that I know all the answers. So at this point in time, and I think this is gonna be true for the majority of my role at this company, that I don't know all the answers. I'm just improvising. So I'm just doing something, and then that something leads to a new thing. So there are great people out there who are called project managers or product managers who can see the right path in the maze of ideas, and who can say, yep, this is what we're gonna do for the next 6 months. I don't really have that. I try to do that. I have a plan for the next upcoming 2 or 3 months, but what are we gonna do after 2 or 3 months? I tell myself that I'm gonna be a great improviser and I'm gonna come up with something great after we get there. So yeah, there's other fantastic people who I also try to convince to come work with me on this. So far, I have been not successful in convincing them. So yeah, and I was like, what? This girl is crazy smart. This is awesome. So yeah, I want to work with her on many projects. So I told her, hey, I also have this idea for a company. Would you be interested in working with me on this? And her advice was yeah, I mean, honestly, this is a great idea, but she has no connection to the cause. Okay, so she doesn't have this condition called type 1 diabetes, and nor does anyone in her family has this. So so she didn't feel connected to this, but she told me maybe I should reach out to someone who does have this connection. So that's why I figured I should reach out to this guy called Patrick, almost the same name as I have. So Patrick does have type 1 diabetes, and Patrick is also a software developer. Yeah, what a coincidence, right?
Yeah,
I'm like, what? That's awesome. So yeah, and what ends up happening is that I talk to Patrick about my project, and I tell him that I want to ask him a favor. When the project is ready, I want him to test my version 1. And so he agrees and says, yeah, sure, no problem. I will test your version 1. And version 1 is ready now, so it's kind of awesome. So I'm here to present to him the idea that not only do I want him to test my software, I also want him to become a co-founder, a project leader.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
What
that's
did you say? Or...
this is the video message that
Oh,
we're
okay,
recording
okay,
for
okay.
him.
So you didn't mess this one up.
Did not,
Okay.
I did. Do I look like I have the courage to straight up just boldly ask people to like, hey, would you love to find some time to talk about starting a company together?
You do like that.
Yeah,
You do like
thank
that,
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, maybe I should be more straightforward with this, but I will find my ways to talk to him. So,
This is a good way as well, though. Yeah.
yeah, making a video
Make a
message.
video,
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Facial expression was like, no, I'm not ready. Why would we ever talk about optimism and relationships? Oh my God, Patrick, you really had to go there. You really went there, huh? Okay, so founding a company together
Mhm.
is a risk because you put in energy and time and effort, even money, and that risk can pay off or it cannot. So, but whatever the outcome is, I think the relationship is very important, right?
Mhm.
So you gotta cultivate a kind of relationship with your founder partner that will lead you to learning and that will lead you to a good life.
Mhm.
So yeah. So I think it is very similar, almost even more intimate sometimes than a marriage could be. What? Well, if you think about it, you spend a lot of time working. So, and how, like, those times, if you spend with someone who's great, how do you have good advice for me to make my founding partner in the future, happy to work with me?
No, I feel like a mom. When they say like, "Oh, just be yourself" or something like this, but actually, just be yourself, seriously, because you have this like I don't know natural trait that you are just good with conversations with anyone. So just stay like this, basically. Be yourself.
Thank you. Whoa, I
mean,
needed to hear that.
It's all about actually, like in a partnership, it's all about actually trust each other in any partnership. It's about communication. So whenever you have like ideas, whenever you want to just, I don't know, as you said, it's a risk. So whenever you want to try something new, you always should like discuss it with each other and then be prepared for everything, I guess. So.
Right. Yeah, the business is a spiritual game because you got to put your soul into it to make it work.
Yeah, basically. No, he's right, actually.
Yeah. How's Patrick gonna convince this other Patrick with religion to work with him? Very good question. I have no clue, but let me present my case. Okay. My case is that in the majority of the religious cultures, there's this belief that you can, for example, in Judaism, there's this belief that the world is at this moment imperfect, and it's your obligation to act in a way to create something that can make it more perfect. Okay? And everybody believes this, so the society gets to become a better place because they act in a way so that people make it better. In Christianity, there's the idea of a savior, and that this concept of a savior is within each and every one of us, and this can lead to us being positively charged to act on the goals that can make us thrive and make our families and communities thrive and get better, because we ourselves carry that divine opportunity and gift within us. So yeah, like I mentioned, like most of the companies are not successful.
Yeah.
So, but if you start something with the belief that this is not going to be successful, you're really never gonna be successful.
Yeah, it's
So
very
you gotta
good.
believe. Yeah. So you gotta cultivate that inner sense of belief in you so that this can grow into something great.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So it's a trick. I call it the trick of optimism.
Say we always have problems, but the thing is that you choosing what kind of problems for you is better to have, because when you choose your own way, like when you choose something you like to do, you basically choose your problems, because some of them can actually be comfortable sometimes for you, or can be even I wouldn't say you would enjoy your problems, but I would say it's fine to go through them. Let's say some of them are fine to go through, and some of them, of course, are not. They could be like really uncomfortable, not your thing at all. So that's the thing. You're choosing what kind of problems you want to go through.
But I want to talk about money.
Okay.
Let's talk about money. So there's something called an investment that we're hoping to get together with Patrick. Why would we need that at all? So I'm very comfortable coding alone, doing software development on my own, but, and this is a big but, the faster you can create something that is meaningful, the faster you reach success. And if you would tell somebody that you have this ambitious goal, you want to create something ambitious, and it will take you 1,000 years to create, people would be like, but dude, you're not going to live 1,000 years. So, or maybe you will, but it's going to still take a lot of time, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. So why would you want to reach success fast? It's because you are working like a scientist does. So a scientist is creating hypotheses, and you test those hypotheses, because if you're working on something that has not been done before, you're at the edge of knowledge, and you gotta create questions and test those questions, and then the faster you can test those, the faster you can create results. So yeah, so this is a common accepted piece of wisdom, that the faster you can create computer code in the realm of computer development, the better your application can be. So, and it makes sense, I think. So, how can I make my partner work with me full time on this project that I have? Well, I assume that he has a job. I would want him to quit that job. What? Yeah. Oh yeah. Big time. Quit that job big time. Yes.
Don't you want him to start maybe part-time at first, and then when it goes more and more, he can quit his job?
No.
Or, no? Oh, wow. Okay.
See, this is why my job is hard. Because, how can you steal away someone from a comfortable position, right?
Yeah.
It's difficult. So, well, first, you gotta offer them a better offer, right? So my offer is that I would love to pay him. What? Money? Again? Yes. I would love to pay him money, but it's honestly the best, right? So why is it the best? Because you can work on your dreams, you get paid for it, and the investments, the way they work is that if you get your first investment, there's a greater chance that you will get another big investment. My job as the founder of this company is to ensure that the company does not die. If we run out of money and there's no will to work on this company anymore, then it dies.
Yeah.
So I gotta ensure with all the little tricks and encouraging ideas I can have, so that we can create somewhat of a meaningful long run.